Keanu Reeves was not a man who sought the spotlight. Despite his fame, he preferred the quiet moments, reading a book in a cafe, riding his motorcycle through the winding roads of Los Angeles, or visiting old friends. Today, he was walking through a residential neighborhood in LA, heading to the home of a former stunt coordinator he'd worked with years ago. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the streets. As he turned a corner, he noticed a police cruiser parked haphazardly, its lights flashing. A young black man, no older than 20, stood with his hands raised, his face a mask of fear. A burly officer, his badge reading Harris, was shouting at him, his hand resting on his holstered gun. "I didn't do anything, man," the young man pleaded, his voice trembling. "I was just walking home." "Shut up," Officer Harris barked, his face red with anger. "You matched the description of a suspect. Now stay still." Keanu's stomach churned. He had seen this scene play out too many times, and it rarely ended well. Without thinking, he stepped forward, his hands raised in a gesture of peace. "Hey, what's going on here?" Keanu called out, his voice calm but firm. Officer Harris turned, his eyes narrowing. "Stay back, sir. This is police business." Keanu kept his tone even. "I just want to help. Is there a problem?" The young man, Marcus, looked at Keanu with a mixture of hope and desperation. "I didn't do anything, man. I was just walking home." "I said shut up," Harris shouted, his hand tightening on his gun. "And you," he pointed at Keanu, "back off." Keanu took a step closer, his mind racing. He knew he had to de-escalate the situation before it spiraled out of control. "Officer, my name is Keanu Reeves. I'm not here to cause trouble. Let's just talk this through." For a moment, Harris hesitated. Keanu's name seemed to register, but then his expression hardened. "I don't care who you are. Back off or I'll arrest you too." Before Keanu could respond, Harris drew his gun, pointing it directly at him. Time seemed to slow as Keanu stared down the barrel, his heart pounding in his chest. He had faced danger before, but this was different. This wasn't a movie set. This was real. Unbeknownst to Harris, a bystander had already started recording the encounter on their phone. The video captured the entire incident. The aggressive questioning of Marcus, Keanu's intervention, and the moment Harris pointed his gun at the actor. Within minutes, the video was uploaded to social media. By the time Keanu returned home that evening, the video had gone viral. News outlets picked it up, and hashtags like #Justice for Marcus and #Keanu Reeves began trending. The public outcry was immediate and overwhelming. Keanu sat in his living room, scrolling through the comments. People were calling for Harris to be fired, for police reform, for accountability. He knew he had to say something, but he also knew his words would carry weight. He didn't want to make this about himself. It was about Marcus, about the systemic issues that allowed situations like this to happen. The next morning, the LAPD held a press conference. Chief Ramirez, a no-nonsense woman with a reputation for fairness, addressed the media. "We are aware of the incident involving Officer Mark Harris and are conducting a full investigation," she said. "Officer Harris has been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. We take these matters very seriously and are committed to ensuring justice is served." Meanwhile, Harris sat at home, staring at the TV. He couldn't believe how quickly things had spiraled out of control. He had always prided himself on being a good cop, someone who protected the streets. But now, the world was calling him a racist, a bully, a monster. Keanu knew he couldn't stay silent. He called a press conference of his own, standing alongside Marcus and his family. The room was packed with reporters, their cameras flashing. "What happened yesterday was wrong," Keanu began, his voice steady. "It was wrong for Marcus, it was wrong for the community, and it was wrong for all of us who believe in justice and equality. This isn't about me. It's about the systemic issues that allow these incidents to keep happening. We need change, and we need it now." Marcus stepped forward, his voice shaking but determined. "I just want to live my life without fear. I want to walk down the street without being treated like a criminal. Is that too much to ask? As the investigation unfolded, more details about Harris's past came to light. Complaints from citizens, disciplinary actions, and even a lawsuit alleging excessive force. The department had turned a blind eye for years, but now the spotlight was too bright to ignore. Harris was fired, but the story didn't end there. The incident sparked a larger conversation about police reform, racial profiling, and accountability. Keanu and Marcus became unlikely allies, using their platforms to push for change. Months later, Keanu and Marcus launched the Reeves-Johnson Foundation, an organization dedicated to supporting victims of racial injustice and advocating for police reform. The foundation quickly gained traction, with donations pouring in from around the world. At the launch event, Keanu stood on stage, looking out at the crowd. "This is just the beginning," he said. "Change doesn't happen overnight, but if we work together, we can create a better future. For Marcus, for all of us, and for the generations to come."